Is Luka Doncic an all-star? He's not a starter, in my vote, anyway, but in what is an exhibition designed to give the fans what they want, why not have Doncic in the game? He is what the fans want. I'm not convinced he'll make the cut, at least in the ridiculously deep West. In the East he probably would, but it's a legitimate conversation. The kid can flat-out ball. Case in point, he dropped a triple-double on the Bucks on MLK Day, becoming only the second teenager to record an NBA triple-double. The other was Markelle Fultz, who was 10 days younger when he got his. Also against Milwaukee, Doncic finished the game with 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Doncic's play was not enough to keep the Bucks from racking up their fifth straight win, and doing it pretty easily, although Dallas made an 11-0 fourth-quarter run to make it a little interesting. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 31 points and 15 rebounds, while Eric Bledsoe had 21 points, and Brook Lopez finished with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks. That was Lopez's first double-double with the Bucks. Carmelo Anthony's sabbatical is over. Sort of. Anthony, who has been on the Houston roster but not with the team after that experiment crashed and burned 10 games into the season, will be traded to the Chicago Bulls. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN broke the story, and other reports have since confirmed it. However, he's not going to be putting on a Bulls jersey. The Houston Rockets have agreed to trade Carmelo Anthony in cash to the Chicago Bulls, league sources tell ESPN. Adrian Wojnarowski, @Wojespin, January 21, 2019. Anthony won't play a game for the Bulls, league source tells ESPN. He will be released and become a free agent if he clears waivers. https://t.co/utuyaonsjp. Adrian Wojnarowski, @Wojespin, January 21, 2019. He may not be waived until after the Feb. 7 deadline. In case the Bulls find a way to use his salary in a one-for-one trade, his salary cannot be combined with others in a deal because he was just traded. When he is waived, at that point there will be more roster shuffling around the league and a landing spot for Melo may open up. Houston's trade is much like the trade from Oklahoma City to Atlanta last summer that moved Anthony off the Thunder roster. The Hawks waived him and Anthony signed with the Rockets. For the Rockets, this is about saving money. The Rockets will save $2.6 million towards the luxury tax by trading the Carmelo Anthony contract. Bobby Marks, @BobbyMarks42, January 21, 2019. The Bulls also make a little under $1 million in this deal. If another team signs Anthony, it would be a benefit for the Hawks. Big winner of Carmelo Anthony traded to Chicago is the Atlanta Hawks. If Anthony is waived by the Bulls, Atlanta will receive a set-off of any additional salary that Anthony would sign for. The Hawks owed Anthony $25.5 million as part of his buyout this summer. Bobby Marks, @BobbyMarks42, January 21, 2019. It's unclear where Anthony's ultimate landing spot will be, although his agent has said there are options. After his struggles in Houston, where the future Hall of Famer thought he deserved more than a bench role due to his stature, even though because of his declining offensive skills and defense that's all he warranted, it's hard to imagine another contender or even playoff team picking him up. Maybe a franchise going all in on the Zion Williamson chase but wants a bump at the gate from the name recognition Anthony brings him in. Although for teams trying to develop young talent, why take the ball out of those young guys' hands to let Anthony jack up contested twos? Most likely it will be a team battling injuries and looking for help. In 10 games for the Rockets this season coming off the bench, Anthony averaged 13.4 points and 5.4 rebounds a game, shot just 40.5% overall and 32.8% from 3. The Rockets' defense was 10.4 points per 100 possessions better when Anthony sat. Wizards owner Ted Leonsis said, "We will never, ever tank." Washington also put out word it wasn't looking to trade Otto Porter. As much as all that sounded like lip service, it appears the Wizards are also conveying similar messages to potential trade partners. Zach Lowe of ESPN, the Wizards have shown little appetite for dealing Otto Porter anywhere for a return heavy on future assets and cap flexibility. Sources say John Wall's massive contract looked barely movable even before he underwent season-ending surgery. Washington seems unwilling to take a step back by trading star Bradley Beal. So, that leaves unloading Porter, who's earning $26,011,913 this year and due $55,739,815 over the next 2 seasons, as the obvious way to create cap flexibility and accumulate future assets. If the Wizards are unwilling to do that, it speaks volumes to their plan. They don't want to rebuild. They want to win now. Porter can help them do that. In many ways, it's noble Washington is so committed to winning, even at great expense. That's generally what we want from teams. We don't want them to give up or cut costs just because they're a couple games out of playoff position midway through the season. But the Wizards' spending has been uneven. Leonsis greenlit a payroll well into the luxury tax and is apparently willing to keep Porter, which likely keeps that payroll high. Yet, Washington is also holding as many roster spots vacant as allowed, offering small savings rather than adding depth amid multiple injuries. Maybe the Wizards just don't believe they could sign minimum salary players who'd actually help. But insurance never hurts on the court. So, Washington is left looking content, holding its few major contracts, nickeling and diming down the roster, winning a barely moderate amount and not gaining better position for the future. I'm unconvinced that's a worthy vision, but if that's what the Wizards want, keeping Porter helps stay that course. Marcus Smart's jawing with DeAndre Bembry reached the point several people tried to restrain the Celtics guard. Smart still fought through them to charge at Bembry. That determination for a confrontation will cost Smart. NBA release: Boston Celtics guard Marcus Smart has been fined $35,000 for aggressively pursuing an opponent in an attempt to escalate a physical altercation and failing to leave the court in a timely manner following his ejection, it was announced today by Kiki Vandeweghe, Executive Vice President, Basketball Operations. The incident, which took place after Smart was assessed his second technical foul and was ejected, occurred with 7:35 remaining in the third quarter of the Celtics' 113-105 victory over the Atlanta Hawks on Jan. 19. Smart was seemingly near the line between this fine and a suspension. He's fortunate to land on the side he did. On Feb. 24, 1962, the Celtics held Wilt Chamberlain to just 26 points, ending his streak of 30-point games at 65. The next day, he scored 67 to start a 31-game streak of 30-point games. Chamberlain was on a different level. He also had 25 and 20-game streaks of 30-point games. His numbers just warp so many statistical achievements. Otherwise, James Harden would get even more credit for his scoring binge. The Rockets star has scored 30 points in 19 straight games, the longest such non-Chamberlain streak of all time. Here are the longest 30-point game streaks in NBA history. Harden will attempt to continue his run against the 76ers tonight. He has been clearing a much higher bar lately. In his last 3 games, Harden has scored 57, 58 and 48 points. So, maybe, just 30 points will be easy. But definitely not as easy as Chamberlain made it look.